Hi, everyone. I'm Shay Connolly, host of today's 5 Questions. Here with me in the GovExec studio, I have Dr. Ian Brooks, Principal Solutions Engineer at Cloudera, and Nic Perez, Chief Technology Officer for Cloud at ThunderCat. Ian, Nic, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
So let's jump right in. For many federal agencies, providing capabilities at the edge to the front lines of the agency's workforce is essential. What should agencies incorporate into their data and AI strategy to enable these capabilities? Nic, you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. So to me, it's a natural evolution. So it's take your investments that you've made on zero trust architecture on premise and just extend that outside the perimeter. So you actually make those happen at the edge. You know, we want to be able to not just collect data at the edge, and we want to process it right there. So whether it be a device being used by the warfighter, a postal worker's tablet, or the park ranger out in the field, we want to be able to trust, but never trust, but always verify those particular things that are happening when you collect it. But the key is to be able to process that data there, save data charges, saves a lot of other elements that you can bring to the table around cost. But there's many benefits to actually processing the data right there, and then send the only thing that's beneficial. Come think about law enforcement. If we put out a camera and I'm looking for a certain thing, I don't want to see a deer. I don't want to see a tree moving, right? So I actually want to see a person, a car, or whatever the object is we're trying to do. So process it there, and then when you have something to process, send that back to the data center.
Absolutely. Ian, any thoughts to add?
Absolutely. So great points that you've made there. The key to this new strategy would be able to develop models that you can then push to the edge. So having the capability to potentially collect all the raw data or just what you're looking for, process the model, push the model to the edge, and allow it to process at the edge is how we would think about that in this paradigm.
Great. And so how important in this is the role of security and governance in architecting agency data and AI strategies? So what should agencies be mindful of when designing these strategies? Ian, you want to continue there?
Yeah, no, it is absolutely critical to think about the strategy before you start collecting data and actually do anything with that. So beyond security and governance, it's also thinking about having even ethics councils to decide like how you should be using the data and the models themselves, but also who should be able to access that, what type of data protections, and how that data should be shared across agencies.
Yeah, I think it's following on to that is actually just a well-architected strategy. Just actually have something that's formed that take the current administration, their kind of short-term priorities, but actually make it so you can actually handle the future provisions, future things, policies that are going to come down. And that comes down to a well-architected strategy. You have a council, you have a center of excellence, a group of panel of people, of experts in your organization, but if you have that strategy, it acts as like a shield to be able to protect you, right, from not only policy changes, but also ultimately regulatory scrutiny and where the world I play is cost. And running costs, when you have a strategy, you understand what's going to happen, and you can predict what those things are. Costs are going to evolve. Technology is coming out every single day, right? And they want to adopt them. They're able to get them from ThunderCat and from investments that Cloudera is making. But the key is, how do I use them? How do I do them safely, securely, and in a compliant way?
Yeah, and Nic, you mentioned the current administration and their priorities. Those are largely centered on enhancing efficiency, streamlining operations. How are the strategies we're talking about here positioned to support those priorities?
Yeah, so we're in the middle of the fiscal year end, busy seasons right now, and it's a difficult time to be in procurement, but the administration has definitely outlined some very key initiatives. One area I see personally is just a cloud marketplace, right? Customers have procured these cloud accounts from the different cloud providers. That's typically a fairly complicated procurement process, and certainly not in months. It can take a number of years to actually get that, but once you've got that cloud account, I can now use that to purchase software. I can purchase Cloudera through ThunderCat and put it on my cloud bill. So be able to rapidly speed up that procurement process. So yes, you still got a procurement action, but you're funding a cloud account that you've already purchased. It's a key enabler, rapid speed, underneath the GSA price, and from trusted partners that ultimately are FedRAMP authorized solutions that are in those marketplaces.
Yeah, I think speed and procurement is something everyone would like to hear at this time. So anything you'd like to add, Ian?
No, absolutely. When we think about what Nic's talking about, speed of procurement, it also allows you to take advantage of the newest and the greatest technology in a more efficient manner. So the delays in actually cure, again, to stop delays in actually developing and employing the use cases that we want to see today.
Yeah, if I can add, try before you buy. right? That's what a notion. We can do it as a consumer. We try things out on our phones, or we delete the app if it's not doing what it needs to do before you subscribe. Being able to bring that onto the enterprise and ultimately into agencies where they can try software, evolve it, see if it's going to fit, and then you do a informed procurement action instead of just a blanket RFI of industry help me with what's out there in the marketplace.
Yeah, exactly. That is so critical, I think, is bringing some of the things that people are used to in their, private technologies that they use and getting those same capabilities to try to test things in government as well.
Absolutely.
So it's a great point. So Ian, can you tell us a little bit about how a Cloudera particularly can provide support in these areas? How do you support mission success?
Absolutely. So we really start with the data platform layer. So it's the ability to bring all your data in one place, get out of silos, and then at that point, you could start to develop models against all the data that you have, again, with security and governance put in place in one place. So it's really the capability that. Beyond that, we give our customers tools to use the greatest of the new large language models, agentic workflows, as well as developing fine-tuning models themselves. So there's a lot of the things that we're seeing today that they can use with us.
Great. And where does ThunderCat fit in, Nic?
Yeah, so I got to tell you, this is an amazing time to be in IT. I've been in IT actually from the hairs quite a long time, and this whole agentic AI space, that the fact that we can do some of these mundane tasks that really take time and distract you, that you can now launch an agent to process data, ETL jobs, again, all these mundane elements that, again, were very complicated, very manual. We can now use agents. They get smarter on their processing this data. So again, I'm super excited about the tooling that Cloudera is putting out there, enable us to do agents, and then cross-agent as well. We're creating agents on ThunderCat to even make my life as a sales guy a little bit easier.
Yeah, well, and to your point, this is such an exciting time in technology in terms of new capabilities and solutions coming out and having a major impact on this space in the future. So what are you excited about that you see kind of coming down the pike, maybe in the near term, Nic?
Well, it's more to be a security posture. Everything is there. So good. FedRAMP authorization, FedRAMP 20X is now shortening from months to weeks to get FedRAMP authorization for these new AI tools, new capabilities. I'm just excited about customers being able to adopt those. Every day, I help advise customers on how to save money in the cloud, right? They've lift and shifted workloads. They're not getting any cost savings there. They're moving to serverless, so they're kind of refactoring those applications. But when they can use tools out of the box, like Cloudera, that's already utilizing those language models to help them accelerate their adoption and ultimately save costs in the cloud. So back to the, kind of your question about the current administration is save costs in the cloud, faster procurement, and less fingerprints on that particular procurement through like a cloud marketplace, but also automate the entire processes. And that's one of the key elements of their FedRAMP authorization was those were the tools that are available now to these customers.
Great. And Ian, what are you looking forward to?
I mean, we think about agentic workflows. It's the ability for them to do tasks that they haven't been trained on in the future. So that will be incredibly interesting, as well as the rate of adoption that we've seen across the space in both enterprise and public sector has been incredible. So I'm just excited to see what will come out of that and what kind of efficiencies we can use with the new technology.
Great. Well, that concludes our 5 questions today. Love ending on a positive note about a bright future. Thank you so much for being here, Ian and Nic. We appreciate your time. And to our viewers, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.